But yes, I truly value the service of everyone wearing blue in the city. I have a soul that's full of peace and love and joy.
That's always been my experience. Yes.
And I want to give that peace and love to every member of the pork community. I think that bacon should be cherished from the point that it comes out into the pen and rolls around in its own shit and chocolate glazed donuts to adulthood when it continues to roll around in that mixture of its own filth, added with the original filth that's being sort of accumulated over the years in the pig pen.
Sorry, you're doing this like complicated bit right here, and I'm just trying to come up with like what do I call it, like porcine American.
Porcine American. I don't know, Oscar Mayer American.
Oscar Mayer American. Smithfield American.
Without them, I might, I don't know, just smile all day. That aside, let's see, do you have anything to plug, Sam?
What, me?
Yeah, you had that book, Everything Abridged, that just came out.
Yeah, no, that was such a fun time writing that. I did all of that myself. It was a really fun book to write. Also, I decided to stop being a labor activist and started writing books instead. You know, it was the fun little transition that I had there. Interesting couple of months. It's been a little while between releases here, so we were kind of busy. I was kind of busy doing that. Not him, me. I was busy doing that.
Yeah, it's a really, impressive change in direction. I found a lot of your commentaries just about the Jamaican American experience.
Yeah, that's like something that I never told any of you guys.
Like, I just never knew that there was this hidden clan of Nordic Jamaicans just wandering the rivers in their dragon-headed longships.
It's not actually... I'm Irish. It's not actually that implausible. I'm sure there were Irish people in St. Anne.
In case any of you are wondering what reverse racism is actually like, me just putting the entire Irish culture in my head is like, that's like Vinland Saga or something, right?
We were their slaves.
I think that's what the Tucker Carlson types are looking for when they say reverse racism.
Dublin was a slave trading port. That's why it was founded.
Oh, man.
Like, I'm not going to get into the whole, like, fucking, like, Irish slaves thing, because that's a refrain used by fuckheads. No, this was, like, centuries and centuries and centuries ago. Different thing, different context. But no, that's, like... I am 1% Swedish. I did the thing once. I'm 1% Swedish. I know exactly why.
And if you could not glean why from the context there, we will tell you when you're older. So for the 13 and down segment of our audience, I guess we should talk about Naruto at some point.
Okay.
So, big thing. We're back in action, back at it like a crack addict. We have been busy. Pretty much everything between extreme importance and just fucking around has happened.
Yeah.
In the downtime, so I can't credit a single one with more of it. If I was more of a spin doctor or spin surgeon, I would really play up the important half. But I also just remember the time that it was raining and I didn't want to get wet, so you didn't get an episode. So that...
Like, there's that. I'm trying to, like, think of the spectrum, I guess, of various shit that I have been up to and, like, continue to be up to, right? So, I have, like, several coworkers who've been unjustly fired out of retaliation here.
Yeah, he's in the middle of what they call a corporate trench warfare.
And we're, like, we're fighting that. I will have this thing where... Actually, no. I don't think I'm telling any of you people that. And then...
This is what, episode 96? I think what you're thinking about is more of an episode 107 kind of reveal.
That's like a 107 one, like, maybe 108. Maybe, because that's like the evil one.
Ooh.
I mean, there's nothing evil about this, but, it's the most auspicious number between.
For us, for posterity, I may make this bonus in a future episode. As soon as you said that, I thought, well, some Mormons might say that it's wrong. I thought, wait, actually, I guess Mormons are the only ones who wouldn't.
Well, they'll say in public that it's wrong. They love talking about how wrong it is in public.
But yeah, so you're holding on to that one.
Yeah, holding on to that one. And then there's just been the other bullshit, which is I'll get home at like an ungodly hour and think, no, I'm having a drink and I'm going to bed.
It is a system. I might recommend you not necessarily use alcohol as a sleeping aid.
That's not a sleeping aid. It's it's an unwinding.
It's something to assist you in going to bed.
Shut up! I have a 6-pack.
Does your liver have a 6-pack?
That doesn't fucking matter. I'm not 50 yet.
Well, everyone, you heard Sam. That's how it works. No negative side effects to drinking until you're 50. And if you have a 6-pack, your organs can't tap out like it's fucking WrestleMania 3.
Look, if I didn't have a 6-pack, I'd be more worried about my organs.
Which one of your doctors told you that one?
This one.
Wait, I'm sorry. What'd you just do there in this
This
very
Dr.
visual medium?
Dr. Finger. This is
Wait,
Dr. Finger right here.
Which finger is it, Sam? We can't tell. It's
this
a podcast.
this is his brother, also Dr. Finger.
So you've mentioned 2 fingers. We don't know which ones you're talking about. Okay. For those of you following along at home, or just if numbers just help you understand the world, we are doing chapters 350 to
420. Nice.
Yeah. And enjoy that joke. I have not blazed it. Maybe I'll do that next fucking one. No, actually, no, I won't, because, look, some people get funnier drunk or high. I don't. You're just going to see me saying,
I just fucking don't. I get really actually very self-conscious about what I'm talking about, so I get very quiet.
My already infamously spotty memory just declines down to another layer. I would say, hey, remember that chapter where Sasuke looked a little grim?
Yeah.
It's a very thanks kind of commentary you'd get from me. But yeah, 350 to 420 are the stars of the show here. And I guess we should open with Sam's favorite character, Deidara, who kicks this mother off.
Which fucking one is he?
That is a member
that's
of
our guy,
Easy
right?
to Draw Robe Clan.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
okay. Our guy's last stand. Yeah, God, I was happy that it was his last stand, because, like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so fucking tired of... Man, pick it up right the fuck where I left off. Alright, so there's...
That's momentum.
I don't know how much else I can really say about, like, mid-card Naruto villains who have, like, this fucking thing that they're on about, and they will not shut the fuck up, and it's not really enough.
I've got something. Because I was sort of fascinated. I was fucking fascinated during the flashback to the fucking Deidara fight. Because, do you know what we learn from the flashback?
What do we learn from the flashback, Denard?
We learned that he liked art and explosives. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Kish.
Thanks, Kish.
I needed 2 chapters to tell me that a man whose word cloud is art explosion and a third personality trait that I literally cannot summon other than hand mouths.
He's... I think I really just think it's those first 2. I think
And
the
we
one...
flash back in time, a narrative device that we have used exclusively to stick some axis onto the character that we don't have time for in the present. Are they more monstrous? Are they more sympathetic? Who knows? And in Deidara, our artistic terrorist was an artistic terrorist in
I'm not
his
gonna even call
distant
that
planet.
like sympathetic or monstrous. It's just fucking annoying.
Yeah. So we get this fight, and
the one part where I think Deidara and just everything that surrounds him got credit for me was when he referenced the super flat art movement. And I'm like, I remember studying art history in college. That's a real thing.
Oh, right. It's easy to forget that anyone that gets to run something in Shonen Jump is either related to an editor or has just been in the deepest, darkest slavery minds of art school.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all should look up Super Flat, kids, but make sure that you're not a kid if you look it up. It's you know that like statue of like the dude like with his cum except it's a lasso? That's Super Flat right there.
You just brought the words cum bending to mind, and that's just gonna be my brain for
That's
the next
what it
few
fucking
days.
looks like. No, I'm not even fucking joking. That's what it fucking looks like.
That's great. You know, it just really brings the whole psychic waterbending concept to a new level. Just crotches exploding around Amon. What a fucking waste.
AO3. It probably exists.
I do not fucking doubt it. So when it comes to this fight, I'm kind of two minds about it. In that Kishimoto, whenever the deadlines ease up enough to allow him to breathe and not leak blood from his eyes and ears.
He has so many fucking assistants, though. I'm not, like, that sympathetic. I'm more sympathetic to Tide Kubo. I don't know how many assistants he had.
My point is, there are a lot of individual panels in this fight that I find either just interesting or amusing. Not for any narrative reason, but just for what they are as an image. Oh, there's also, he makes a giant inflatable himself, which
that was kind of fun.
Evidently, that's just what my wavelength of sense of humor is. That said,
and then because it's Sasuke, there's a whole lot of oops gotcha, oops gotcha, oops gotcha.
We're getting to my problem with this fight.
All of the oops gotcha.
Not just the oops gotcha. There is this quota in Naruto. And you know what? I'm gonna speak for the whole fucking series here because I finished it. Yes, we've been gone for a fucking while, people.
Jesus fucking Christ.
There's this quota in Naruto, and it's not consistent enough to make it feel like a Nen thing or some bullshit where he remembers, oh god, I made this whole fucking chart system. I don't do something with it, they're gonna fucking eat me. And this fight was the ninjutsu system quota. Like, you know that rage a Bill O'Reilly viewer a ways back when, before he got replaced by the fucking Thunderstone version of him, Tucker Carlson, would have at the idea of just affirmative action or diversity hires?
Sure.
That is how I feel about the fights that break down into the fucking ninjutsu chart system.
God, I fucking hated that. It was such a fucking bad idea. Oh my god.
Because the second that it becomes, oh, if I just funnel a little lightning at Datara's things, they are fucking worthless. I'm just like, he's supposed to be this terrorist assassin, and just at least 1/5 of the people that he meets should just be able to just sort of blow into their thumb and make a giant inflatable middle finger come up to everything that he tries to do.
See, just from a fucking, not from a writing standpoint, just, this killed, right? This fight, this series, this gimmick, this whole fucking system and it being played around with and showcased, this fucking killed. Why do you people like this? Why do you want to... This is my fucking eternal fucking struggle with anime and the weebosphere. Why do you want to watch someone play a fucking video game? Just play the fucking video game. Why am I being subjected to this? This is your fault. Keish didn't do this in a vacuum. You asked him to.
Man, why can't the video game be Devil May Cry? Is that just Chainsaw Man? God, I love Chainsaw Man.
God, fuck yeah, Chainsaw Man. Go.
Alright.
Talk about fucking shonen that doesn't waste your fucking time.
Lean as the finest Brazilian eateries meat. Okay, so we've got this
lean.
fight. The whole.
Have you been to Fogo de Chao lately? That's not lean.
Good point.
But like in the best way.
Yeah.
We gotta go to Fogo de Chao one of these days.
I dig it.
Just like put like $200 aside each.
That can close out the year or a birthday or something.
Alright.
That meat pal. That's not a stealth ad or something, by the way. If they're going for more anime fans in their marketing, then I appreciate their sense of vision, I guess.
I kind of want to go to Fogo de Chao. Here's the thing, like we have this one guy in the Mets whose like thing is that he takes out the entire team to Fogo de Chao sometimes. He's so cool.
That's a nice gimmick.
Oh, he's so great. No, he's like, everyone loves him. He's like not the strongest hitter on our team right now, but he's so fucking beloved by everyone on the team that he makes them all better. Like we win games with his presence. Go ahead.
And so when it comes to me and the affirmative action system in Naruto, here's why it sucks. Now, keep in mind, this is a show about ninja fighting, and this is something it lives up to often, whenever it's in fact not doing a combat diversity arc.
Yeah, we're gonna get up to when it lives up to that, when Jiraiya has his little arc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this fight is between... You have Sasuke, who's kind of a silent badass.
He's just kind of a silent badass.
Yeah,
right?
but
He doesn't.
also kind of like a silent badass.
But he doesn't talk a whole lot, but he does kick a whole lot of
people
ass.
talking, he's like a silent badass.
But like he doesn't actually really need to talk. Like some people are better on the stick. No, he doesn't need to be. He's just kind of like more of like a silent badass.
And he's also just canonically like just a nimbler combatant, bounces around.
Yeah.
And his opponent is just this boisterous dickhead who causes explosions.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to ask me what the simplest fight to choreograph in manga history could be, it's just a silent badass dodging explosions and stabbing a guy.
Yeah.
And it is just weighed down by this chatter about the lightning thing.
We're told that Sasuke is like smart and shit, right? We're told. That's what we've been informed.
Does that extend to decision making?
Sometimes people will tell us that Sasuke is smart. Sometimes when people are talking about Sasuke, they will tell me. They will tell us. They will tell each other.
Sasuke
He's
joined
smart.
Al-Qaeda to get horse steroids. That's all he got from Orochimaru. Were some horse steroids from Jugo. And I'm not saying that the horse steroids don't work, but this universe also has like 3 other forms of horse steroid.
So because I've been told, because I've been informed, he is smart.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because they told me.
Every now and again.
Like it comes up.
Sparsely.
That he's smart.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Do you know he's smart?
I do. Do you know why I know that?
Through the grapevine?
Not even through the grapevine. Like people are like really straight up about it.
About him being smart.
Because he's really smart.
For the record, the director's cut versions would go on for 25 minutes. If I was 19, this would go on for 25 more minutes. But I can just see someone's fist clenching around their iPhone and a crack on the screen getting a little larger.
I don't want to be responsible for that.
Expensive products.
There is a version of this fight where everyone shuts the fuck up. And I feel like I've said that in previous episodes before. Because that is sort of just what I'm looking for out of a fight. And that's why I love Chainsaw Man as much as I do. Because occasionally people will say things, but it'll be like kind of like heat of the moment declarations, that kind of thing. Like, like, why are you doing this, or I'll fucking kill you? Shit like that. I might be paraphrasing just a little bit, but mostly it's panels like that one of him riding the fucking shark up a building to face down a girl in her underwear who has a fucking bomb for a head.
What a great time.
And they don't really like waste my time, like going into, the form of devil, whatever the fight. Like that does exist, certainly, but it's very simple and easy to wrap your head around. And they don't feel the need to bend it anyway.
And explanations are very pared down.
Like pared down, straightforward. They tell you once and it's easy enough to remember the entire rest of the way through. Yeah.
Before we move on from Deidara, which we will at some point this century, I feel like I should... I guess I already talked about the positives, but something I got some entertainment out of in a non-ironic way also was just him using the fucking snake head as a blast shield.
That was fun.
Yeah.
There are fun things in all of these fights.
So now that we've covered this fight, this little duel... Oh, by the way, Deidara fucking dies.
Oh, yeah, he's gone
just
now.
Deep Six, gone. If you liked that ponytail... Well, unfortunately, you will never see that character design again until we get Pain's clones in the same 70 chapters.
Here's the thing about reading this versus watching this is that I'm not saying that the pacing is good.
Oh, but it's not the blackened hell.
It's not the blackened hell filler arcs where these people seem like they were functionally fucking immortal. No, people die.
I think that seasonal anime may have just saved shonen as a concept in the long run. At least on the battlefront.
God, but what price did we fucking pay?
Just a little life force, a little soul force. We kind of skipped the build to this Deidara thing, which is Akatsuki or I'm gonna mispronounce it.
Akatsuki.
Akatsuki. Okay,
Akatsuki.
cool.
It's very simple.
Sweet. So Red Clouds.
The price was the Promised Neverland. That was the price.
Hold on, let me just do one of those lone Kenshiro tears into the distance.
The sad violin from the
Yeah.
from the vines.
You know what's nice about having the Kenshiro reference for the single tear instead of the cowboy movie Native American thing is that it lets you find a way to identify that emotion and that symbol without just tapping into deep racism. It's really nice. This is the benefit of cultural exchange. Isn't that good to have? Thank you, Fist of the North Star. Okay. So to build to this, Akatsuki and Konoha independently decide it's open season on Sasuke.
Yeah.
And they both sprint for the same target.
They just really want his fucking asshole.
And meanwhile, Sasuke and Konoha independently decide that they are hankering for some Itachi asshole, and it's I don't know, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like it gets a little bit. They play around with it a little bit. I'm sure that they'll get to it a little bit more when we get to the whole Ninja War arc. I mean, I have to imagine, given the name. But I sort of like when they start talking about, the interesting political situation that they find themselves in here and there.
A lot of the wider world things are nice. They're not too belabored, and I will never really ding anything for taking into its just sort of set of themes. Why won't the death machine stop turning?
Yeah. And
because that sort of ramps up. I guess it started ramping up proper around like 270 or so, but it's more center stage kind of here of the whole Land of Rain thing.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I was gonna say. We get like this new villain, Pain, who sort of his motivation is kind of centered around like why won't the wheel of death stop turning, and then he comes up with an extremely fucking Naruto villain answer to that question. But he's at the very least asking the question. Like, yeah, he came up with an answer that's at perhaps like a different level of ability than, but like
there are so many different executions of similar concepts in Naruto that it's actually almost kind of educationally useful to talk about where each one does and doesn't work, because they all sort of do on different levels, and some of them bat well, and there's some of them it's like, what were we even thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Now Pain is interesting because I think he's funny to me because the wind up of like his childhood story works.
Yeah.
His modern combat stuff and design are cool, and his modern logic is like someone from Mars. But I will accept that as a cohesive whole.
I do think it's silly, yeah.
Just a little silly.
I don't know. The whole
it's like if the guy from, if you're in American comics, Ameriboo, Flagaboo, Eagleboo, whatever they call it, Capaboo. You remember there was this Unknown Soldier reboot, just the sort of Vertigo Comics core thing about like just death war in Africa, right?
Yeah.
If you just took that guy's experiences and then in the last page of the comic he just put both his hands in the air and shouted, "The world!" You sort of get Pain.
That's about like where he lives. That is the place where he lives.
So Pain's sort of an interesting place in sympathy spectrum because the things he's saying in the present are fucking stupid. At least you can feel for the experiences. In fact, this is the first time I have a fan canon for a character.
Sure.
What if, and not in the way they're saying, but what if Pain, just those experiences, he's just fucking crazy. He's just fucking crazy.
He has brain damage.
He just lost his goddamn mind.
Like, all of those things happened, and also he tripped in his head real bad once.
Alright, so
one of his 6 heads. I don't know.
So we have
still only barely understand how his fucking thing works with the bodies.
I think they maybe, given that it's once a week, so it represents longer than a year, maybe they took a little too long with it, but they do explain it in the next part, and it's not painful. But yeah, there is a system. I think he just wanted him to be mysteriously powerful, which is something you can do. I don't know if you want to have it be nebulous for 40 chapters of a year of publishing time, but
Well,
maybe
no,
that's prescriptive.
that is the question. I don't know because
Like, we have the benefit of just
it is fun to
sprinting
string
now.
along a mystery, right? It is
Yeah.
fun to to have your readers continue guessing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are far more interesting questions to leave your readers guessing about than how does this guy make the fucking 6 bodies work? That's not much of a mystery. That's mostly just you have a guy doing a thing and then you don't explain how. And you could, if this world was more mysterious in general, if they hadn't spent all this fucking time expositing about the different types of fucking then maybe you can make a mystery out of that. Maybe you can draw some suspense out of that. I don't necessarily think that that kind of work was done, though.
Fair enough. And let's see, I guess Pain is the most alternative looking character design we've gotten so far. All 6 versions, everything from the spiked gauges to just a real porcupine kind of face, and I appreciate that. I appreciate variety.
Yeah, they do look like the staff of a Bushwick Cat Cafe, don't they?
Yeah, there's someone really channeling all those childhood feelings into keeping a cloud of lice generators intact. So yeah, this Pain is, I guess this whole thing is spoilers, so I don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. He's revealed as the secret leader of Akatsuki, only then he's not, because then they have the reveal of the secret leader of Akatsuki.
They keep fucking doing that. In this span of 70 chapters alone, they keep fucking doing that.
Oh, this is amidst the most galaxy brain meme just reveals in sequence I have seen in a while. We'll get, I know we are horny to get to the fucking Sasuke Itachi thing,
because that's where it crosses over to funny again, I think. Yeah.
But I think just for the sake of coherence, let's focus on the Pain thing first.
Okay.
All right, so Pain's thing is he's depressed and he thinks he's God. That's pretty much the two Pain things.
Yeah, he's it's kind of all in the name, really.
Yeah, it's just...
you could get an explanation out of it, but you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And it's why I keep making fun of his sort of character diagram, because it's just World War I trauma, ? The world. It's a real journey to big boss status. You gotta put one or two little steps in there.
What is the answer to World War I? Well, clearly World War III.
Yeah. And Jiraiya, our local, not gambling addict, that's the other one, our local lady addict, I guess.
That's a word for it.
He posts a notepad message about how he's going to improve. He's going to seek therapy. This is gonna happen again. He's sorry for letting the fans down.
He makes a video on YouTube that starts with him being like, okay.
Hey everyone. Normally I'm XX Headshotinator, but today I'm just Pete. And I'm sorry, you see, I grew up in a toxic environment where they told me that age was just a number. And I held that belief even after I became famous.
I internalized that.
And I'm sorry about how you feel about what I did with the... Anyway, our point is, Jiraiya, fan favorite sex pest.
There's a lot of healing to be done.
There's a lot of healing to be done.
On your part.
And I hope we can still move forward. I hope I can still unseal the demon locks, keeping the monster inside Naruto at bay.
This arc features some of the first, maybe not the first, but some of the most prominent actual ninja shit. Ninja by definition shit.
It's interesting that a character whose whole thing is he's kind of off-kilter and goofy does the most straight line, the concept work we've seen in a while.
One of my favorite little pages of this manga so far has been the house, quote unquote, that they were in just turned into a frog.
That was great. Honestly, every time Quiche has the benefit of like an early furry artist. Every time the subject turns to funny animals, great stuff. And yeah, I really appreciated that frog gag too. The silly world inside the frog.
Like, you're in the frog now.
His version of
This is the domain of Froge.
His version of a hardcore interrogation is a feather thing, which really works, and he's also not that good at it.
Yeah. It's like, it hits. I think.
It's some of his best work in the comic, which is why, of course, hoist the death flags high.
It's really interesting because, yeah. A lot of the time, whenever Quiche tries to be funny, he succeeds. Mm-hmm. When he tries to be, like, cool and edgy, that's where his efforts fall a bit on the flatter side, don't they?
Yeah, that is an interesting combination. Like, his sense of humor just does generally land.
Yeah, like, Naruto's gags tend to be really funny. That little conversation that he had with Tsunade where, like, she was like, I'm the Hokage, you're not gonna get me drunk.
It actually reminds me of that conversation we had when we were doing, also, yes, that moment was great. But that reminds me of that conversation we had when we were doing Jujutsu Kaisen, I remember. We had a similar observation that...
Oh, yeah, it was very, very funny when it wanted to be, but then it went ahead and took the worst parts of Bleach and turned it into its core gimmick.
Yeah, those are some lead shoes to put on before your tap dancing act, I've gotta say.
Battle zone.
Battle zone.
Battle zone. Battle
wait,
zone.
You gotta do the voice. You gotta do the voice.
Battle zone. Battle zone.
Alright, now do the phrase for the kids at home.
Okay, since you asked.
It's been a while.
Welcome to my battle zone.
I'll stop laughing at that one when I'm dead. If I put something on a t-shirt, that's one of the top 3 things. Just welcome to my battle zone.
I don't know why Jujutsu Kaisen's readership thinks that's cool.
I remember I still have the Shonen Jump app, especially for this series. So every now and again,
helpful, yeah.
Every now and again, I will just poke my head in to see how fucking Jujutsu Kaisen and my other shit is doing. And I swear, they had one where he had entered the battle zone of this one character that's based on the statistically improbable event slowly becoming more probable.
So fiction?
And he's fighting a guy
You're already in that.
Battle zone power is that he's a manga author and he can sort of do the Heaven's Door thing on you, but not really.
Now I'm wondering if JoJo was just bad for shonen.
Sometimes we have to live with those Frank Miller questions. Sometimes you wonder if you have made the Dark Knight return. Long story short, Jiraiya has this kind of puzzle box battle sequence. Speaking of JoJo, I don't think it's a reference or a knockoff, but interesting structural similarity. He does spend the whole fight like basically figuring the guy out, like old Jonathan did figure Dio out that one bit, and he does send a sort of sacrifice message out.
Yeah.
So cool on him for that, and
also rip Jiraiya.
R.I.P. Jiraiya. It works dramatically.
Goddamn, like the shit that it takes to kill the guy. Didn't know he had it in him.
Yeah, believe me, I am more than callous enough to make fun of an old man's death if it sucks.
No, it didn't suck.
It did not suck.
I like how he died.
Yeah. Especially in a series as averse to just fucking killing people off as Naruto.
Is it averse to killing people off? Well, no, it'll introduce them just to kill them off, right?
Oh yeah, I guess just say people of like relevance,
like dudes who've been around for a while, yeah.
Like who bit it that mattered? Orochimaru. And Jiraiya. The changing of the guards a generation. Oh no, Tsunade.
No, jeez, no. There's too many horny fans to disappoint.
I gotta be honest. I'm trying to restrain this. I kind of have a towely opinion of Tsunade in this comic. it's there's a lot that he goes for that does not land.
I think that Tsunade would have been a much more fun character if they had not sort of given her all of these expectations that not that she can't live up to, that they're unwilling to have her live up to.
Yeah, that is the real thing. Okay, so back to Pain playing a like I don't know, some sort of turn-based RPG like Crusader Kings while everyone else is stuck in their third-person action game.
I was thinking that they were playing like Final Fantasy or one another. Just like doing like Una versus Una.
Yeah. What'd you think of the she's supposed to be a fellow Akatsuki member. She kind of feels like Pain's...
Oh, your secretary. Like, literally, like, files papers.
Man, for once, I was more immersive. I was gonna say she's like his hype man or something. He's like, and introducing, from parts unknown, Rain Village, parts unknown, Pain. But she comes in and she's like his attendee or secretary, and she has read or die powers.
Yeah, like I said, she's literally filing his papers.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I missed that pun the first time. Good job, you. I've got to say, I know it's frustrating for some of you who feel like we might be putting a different decade standards in there, but it's also what makes me smile. As far as the Naruto gender watch, her getting immediately washed out by that toad oil, like just bitched out. Keep in mind, every member of Akatsuki so far has been at least half zombie.
They usually are, like, capable of killing someone first, too.
Yeah, half zombie,
like,
they get a kill, they kidnap the president.
Even just someone who just got introduced.
And she just comes in, and she just gets covered in butterscotch, like, oh, nothing to do. It's like, do you want to use any of your, other normal powers that every person in this setting has?
No.
Just gonna give up because you're damp? Because you got damp?
Well, I'm paper.
This might actually have a very straightforward answer, and I just did not pay enough attention to the power system dump.
Sure.
But help me out here.
Okay. I'm not going to be of much help, but yeah, go ahead. Ask.
So her turning the paper shit is like one of those genetic ninja bullshit powers, right?
Yeah, probably. Let's see, yeah.
But when she's a kid, she can't turn all into paper. She just can make paper things because she has to train it or something, I guess. It's like this Sharingan thing gets tougher over time.
Yeah.
So can she not unpaper her body when she's wet if she had to, like, train it up? Or is she just permanently papered as she gets stronger? Or
I don't fucking know. What the hell are you asking me for?
Because her paper powers suck and are lame. And
you expect me to have an answer for you? I don't.
Whatever. So the point is, gender watch.
Awooga, 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 awooga. Red alert, gender alert. They did it.
She does not get to pull a Tamari. Okay. So the actual fight between Jiraiya and Pain is, Jiraiya trying to figure this whole thing out, and
God, the fucking Tamari thing fascinates me.
Gotta have an outlier.
She's like fucking Angela Merkel.
And I guess it's also sort of expositing powers that Naruto gets down the pipe, but that's a whole other whatever thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we laid out this part pretty decently, so we can... Alright, we gotta talk about this. So, there's some other shit. Naruto talks to Itachi for like 5 minutes. The word brother is repeated about 15 times.
Yeah.
In case, I don't know, you were asleep before, or you missed the part in which Naruto and Sasuke have some direct interaction with each other. Maybe just this is your first issue Shonen Jump. Fine. Recap the shit, whatever. Naruto's invested.
Mm-hmm.
And Itachi is really starting to ramp up the winking at the camera. Like, am I really that bad a guy? Slowly holds up baby and campaign poster.
This was the arc where I actually lost faith that he had been, planning this whole thing the whole time.
So we are on opposite points on this team. This actually came out. This was the story arc where I wanted to have this debate. Because you used to think everything was planned.
And now I don't.
I thought it was by the seat of his pants, and now I think he had a bad plan the whole time. Because you have the way the whole Itachi thing is structured.
Okay, I don't think that he came up with it after this arc, right? I think he came up with it, like, right before this arc. He'd been, like right before Sasuke and Itachi have their, have their fight that was promised, right? That's around when he's like, I got it. I fucking got it.
Alright, so that's a fair theorem. I think around, say, Gara Land, there is just this big, intensely stupid Google Doc that he has just filled out with some parts in bold text.
I think it was just fucking Word at that point in time.
Entirely possible.
Microsoft
Most
Word.
likely, yeah. He's like, by God, all of these plot points are of equal quality. And I'm equally proud of all of them.
I'm gonna put all of them in here. Every single fucking one of them. Kill no darlings. They are precious to me.
Because having read this in a straight shot, it seems clear that something... I'm not saying it's good. When I say planned, do not correlate planned of good, no. I just mean that there has been intent up to this point, and things point toward the sequence of events as a possible thing that's happened.
Look, I'm willing to believe that he decided, okay, there needs to be something mysterious going on with Itachi. There's more to him than meets the eye. And, like, he decided that early on, and then decided this the closer he got to the character's death. Oh, spoilers, I guess. He dies.
Oh, yeah, he dies. We don't talk about an exact order. You get it.
Everyone fucking knows that Itachi dies.
So, there's one more thing that gives me a little chemtrail thing, is that this is basically the same stupid fucking twist from the Neji flashback. In which he was a secret
good guy.
Agent of good all along, working to preserve the eyes and the village.
Let's get to the fight itself, because that's actually where, like, the humor is gonna come from.
Alright, so we'll start with the fight then.
So I wanted to start with a joke, thrice told on various internet communities. Where does a Redditor get his water from?
I'm gonna hate this, aren't I?
From a well, actually. And that is how this fight goes.
Oh, I think my left ventricle just closed off. Okay, so these two confront each other. They both have powers fueled by edge.
Mm-hmm.
When I say fueled by edge, I'm not speaking figuratively. I mean that we learn that the fucking Sharingan becomes stronger by adding edge to your life.
You gotta pull someone's fucking eyes out.
You gotta pull someone's fucking eyes out. We also learned something that I really want to establish here before I get lost in the other funny part of this fight. Because I look at all the things available in this universe. This is my conspiracy theory. Until some ludicrous bullshit that they add to it later.
Mm-hmm.
We find out that basically the Sharingan fucking sucks. We find out it is actually just fucking terrible. You are going blind. You get to win 3 fights with it. And then
That's it.
And then you're going to be an invalid for the rest of your fucking life. Unless you murder your brother, which, by the way, kind of a net loss, really. Like,
I don't see a world where it's worth it.
Akira Ninjutsu, the ultimate power, as long as you're willing to go blind or murder your brother. What kind of bullshit is this? I'm left to assume that the population of the Uchiha clan, I'm sorry, Uchiha, that the population of the Uchiha clan is just perpetually having itself as they're just like a game of dodgeball, just throwing eyes across the median line. But that's not the funny part of this fight. No, the funny part of this fight is the number of, as you said, actually, as reality keeps on reversing itself.
It's like watching 2 fucking nerds with blue decks play Magic the Gathering.
Surely the counter-mill duel of 2012 was something to behold.
Was it 2012? Jesus
that was
Christ.
a shot in the dark.
I feel like it might have been... Oh, God, I'm old. I think it was 2009.
2009. Okay. So we are...
The franchise has never reached such heights ever again.
There's the lightning stab. But actually, he's in the throne over there. But actually
this
he's
was
standing
Genjutsu
behind
the whole time.
And I remember the point where this is a comedy. Is you find out that what this looks like is both of them just standing there like a pair of jerk-offs. And
just go like at one another. Or they must be. That's how it like kind of appeared to me in my head.
And I really love it. Not
Just
critically
imagine,
love it like it's a good thing, but I just love how fucking sweet they are convinced that everything involving the Uchihas is...
Here's the thing. What if someone came by with like a fucking baseball bat and saw these two fucking jerk-offs just going at one another?
So I originally thought when they said, always bring a friend when fighting the Sharingan, don't face it alone, that they meant it's so powerful that only two people can take it on. But I think it's the thing you're talking about, that just the protocol is that while he goes...
Always bring a friend. Tell him to bring, like, a gun or something. It'll be real fucking easy while he's distracted.
Or like, a can of paint to wing him around the head a few times. Then you guys
might just give him what for. He'll be completely open to it.
If you forget the paint can, don't worry, just crouch around and sack whap him like it's a fucking WWE match. Don't worry, after he comes to, he won't be able to see you because
he'll be fucking blind. Because the Sharingan fucking blows.
Unless maybe his brother is somewhere nearby. Not just anyone with the Sharingan, because the fucking eye switch only doesn't fucking suck if it's your brother or some shit. So I have extra problems because
this is like what happens when you write yourself into a corner and you are forced to eat the wall.
Yeah, I have a certain absurdist sense of humor. So every time he just flicks the reality button in the first half, and by half I mean just kidding, 3/4 of this fight, I am laughing my dick off even more than someone would normally be.
Everything also has a hilarious name in this. What's the name of his armor? The Sleepy Lou or something like that?
The Susanoo or Susanoo. I can't speak to the enunciation, but it's Sussanoo or to that effect.
Shubiluliuma.
I do kind of like that it's like the lines are done in different style because it's the otherworldly whatever shit.
Yeah, it's called like the Sleepy Lou.
Okay. I normally I take all the cheap shots I can. There is a second language kind of thing. Like, it sounds dumb in English, but maybe it doesn't when you have a different phonetic base or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I have to... I pee on so much in this comic.
Okay,
I have
Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. There was a character from Gundam Age, the third of Gundam Age, like the really fucking bad one, whose last name was spelled Einus. Guess how it was fucking pronounced? I don't like. It's not that I don't care. Sure. You come from like a different set of phonemes, right? Like that's like you could do like. Maybe it's a different thing. Maybe this is apples and oranges, and like Sloopy Lou, doesn't sound stupid, but like anus sounds like anus in whatever fucking language. I hate Gundam Age.
We might have to do a thing about that at some point. Like, it's significant in your world. I'll table that idea for now. Maybe when the world's in a better condition.
God, it started out so promising. Go ahead. Let's.
Now you have to understand. It doesn't just feel like a bit. A lot of things in life feel like a bit. It feels like a Xavier Renegade Angel bit. Like, every time it looks like something happens, it didn't.
It didn't.
And actually, your feet are made of snakes. Only they aren't made of snakes because you were behind me the whole time stabbing me. Only what you thought was me was actually my chair. I'm over there making popcorn and trying to find Top Gun 2 on Netflix. Only it's not on Netflix as Tom Cruise only makes movies for the big screen.
Except it's not Tom Cruise. It's Orochimaru and he made popcorn. Bleh.
Also, it's 9 months in the future, and it has been on Netflix all along. That is reality vomit. I was like, oh yeah, and Orochimaru is back, and then he isn't.
Real fast.
What was the wrestling thing? Real easy.
Real easy.
So, I used the term galaxy brain before. I need you to imagine the specific progression of images in there. Because what happens is very straightforward. Sasuke attacks Itachi, who isn't actually there, so Itachi stabs him, but he's not actually there. So Sasuke's behind his chair and stabs him again, and explains that this is his revenge for Itachi killing his parents. Itachi's like, yeah, I know, we've been over this. He's not actually there. Then they both realize they are casting illusions at each other. Only Itachi's illusions are better because he because they are.
And he's better, yeah.
Sasuke's are not better because he has not murdered anyone he cares about yet, except, I guess, just kicking the shit out of Naruto until his liver shed out blood didn't count, whatever. So
that's not technically murder. I don't know.
Actually, no, I should give it that because the emotional beat is that he made that choice. I'm gonna find strength my way. You know, let's give it.
Sure, yeah,
give
fine. Like I like that. I like that well enough.
So they switch positions in reality a few more times. Then an actual cool thing happens where Sasuke decides that his actual plan now is just ninja star spam.
We're gonna ninja
and I was
star
kind
spam
of just I was kind of just with it.
and do some lightning from my hands.
And then we find out that because of fratricide, Itachi has fire eye powers, and in theory they are super deadly, but because of just how fights are controlled, he can't actually hit his opponent with them because it's fucking over if he's just on unpunchable fire. Maybe that's part of why I felt like the Sharingan sucks in this. Just he talks a lot about these Amaterasu flames, and then just nothing happens with them.
Yeah.
Then Sasuke has a moment that is the logic is far flung enough. I sit here, and I cannot credit or impugn Kishimoto for it because I legitimately cannot tell if it is cool or fucking stupid.
Okay.
When Sasuke turns the whole thing into a lightning trap, like the barometric pressure or the Matarasu making the mist above them, whatever, into clouds or some shit. Was that cool or not? No, I need help. I don't
know.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Tell you what. If you're a Naruto fan and you hate me right now, it was fucking sweet.
Here's what I'm thinking. That's my because like I'm wondering if we're hesitant to give credit where it's due because it's Kish and we kind of like bullying him.
I think that's one thing. Also,
because
here's
like,
the real
if this were JoJo, right? If this were like a JoJo fight and like the barometric pressure or whatever making lightning work better, we'd probably think that was pretty smart.
I think it's also just a problem within this fight where we take the individual cool parts less seriously because reality keeps getting rewound.
True.
So it's almost like, okay, well that didn't happen, but
so maybe it is cool, but it needs to be part of a good fight for it to truly be cool.
So then it rains lightning, but actually this whole time he had invincible super armor he could have put on this whole time. He was playing around if he could.
The Sloopy Loo.
And then inside of his glowy samurai armor at this point. But actually this whole time Orochimaru has been dormant inside of Sasuke. Indeed. But actually, Itachi has been carrying around an anti-Orochimaru sword this whole time. That just comes and goes, by the way. Like, they just...
Oh, it's you. I remember you. I have something for just such a... Yeah.
And then the final, but actually, that I've been building up to this entire bit for.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been evil this whole time. Which, I know what they're going for. Secrecy, Ninja World, whatever. On the list of things that just seem like some sort of Carrie-esque emotional abuse bullying program, I don't know what level of social ineptitude is the one where you decide the best path for your little brother is let him think you killed his parents for 8 years. I mean, you did kill his parents, but for no fucking reason, I guess.
I read the section where Toby or Obito or whatever explains it. It kind of went one ear in one ear and out the other. It's just okay. So Madara Uchiha was mad that he wasn't the first Hokage.
Yep.
And he went off and he did his own thing.
Started his own band of blackjack and hookers. Madara ran off and founded Megadeth after getting kicked out of Metallica for drinking too much, which is an achievement, by the way.
Yeah. There are many people in this world who I would love not to be, and one of them is literally any member of Metallica.
God, just chasing
like past, present, or future.
Just chasing the echoes of cool. But go on.
That's actually kind of where I lose the thread. Is Madara gets mad, goes and founds Megadeth. Kind of started like leaving my body after that. Because we were in flashback hell now. The
events themselves should be simple, or are simple, but they are nested in a flashback after 13 reality reversions after finding out your brother isn't...
I think that's what it was. I had such a fucking headache. I had a really hard time encoding what happened. Could you, like, state for the record here?
Okay, for the eternal record, to prove we are paying attention in Naruto.
To prove you were paying attention. I was trying to pay attention.
Sorry, to prove that I am super neurotypical. Here is it broken down.
Sure. I'd love that.
There was an upcoming Uchiha rebellion in Konoha when Sasuke was a preteen that, I don't know, I guess they do a really bad job of radicalizing their kids because Sasuke had no idea this was going on. But
yeah, they really could have, like, raised him on this shit.
Like, really isolate up, you know, but I guess they're keeping it under wraps.
Why was he, like, the only one?
Yeah, are there other kids? Did Itachi wax a bunch of kids?
That, like, didn't know? Like, there had to have been, like, if the Uchiha clan was so huge, right? He couldn't have been, like, the only 8-year-old.
Did Mary Lou Uchiha know about the coup? Did you kill Mary Lou Uchiha, Itachi?
Justice for Mary Lou.
Justice for Mary Lou Uchiha. Okay, so Itachi total party wipes the village. Mm-hmm. Foundation is involved in the order, Root or whatever.
Root, yeah.
The motive behind this is that the Cain and Abel of this whole fucking setting is this fucking well, later on there's a recursive thing which will make your head hurt again.
I don't want to fucking know.
But all that happens
I'm going to, but
right now is that there's a clan called the Senju, who are one type of chakra wizard, and a clan called the Uchiha, who are another type of chakra wizard. And they found Konoha together after kicking each other's asses for so long. They're going, yeah, I kind of respect you now. We can be muscle friends. And so they make Murder Village. Only, I guess Madara wanted to be George Washington, and they said, that's adorable. How about this? Later on, you'll get a really cloying musical about you instead. And he said, the fuck you will. Shove Lin-Manuel Miranda up your fucking ass.
See, this is why two tops shouldn't date.
Yes, this is why. Happy Pride, everyone. He is enamored of this meme image. It just says two tops, and then it's Eren Yeager and Rainer punching each other. So, going on here, Madara was responsible for all the fox fuckery. Basically, there's something where the eye can manipulate tailed beasts. And so Madara...
It's a really specific fucking thing.
Did that shit too. And what's actually important to the whole Itachi thing, though, at this point, what matters and doesn't in the fucking expedition is probably beyond any reader that did not... This is what I'm about to say is not a compliment. It's going to sound like a compliment, but if you pay attention, but I'm going to say it's not a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have had the willpower, tools, or reason to understand this teen action flashback if I did not have 2 Ivy League literature degrees. Do you hear me? If I did not have an MFA from Columbia University, I would not have retained the expository block. Okay. So just for the record, people mistrust the Uchiha. They mistreat them. They're over in the bad...
No. The Uchiha.
People mistrust the Uchiha. They're put in the bad part of town, and they're given the eternal curse of being cops, which I fucking love. No notes. Perfect. They are cursed. They are cursed with pigdom. Oinkly doinkly. So... And then they just get Al-Qaeda'd into working for Madara again. And Sasuke, given this whole just dump of information...
Do we have a timeline on this? Like, Madara, is it like, when we're like, air quotes, Madara, Toby, or like, Madara, when like, they kind of...
Alright, so this is gonna that whole thing's gonna make it confusing for the people following just by the podcast.
Oh, is it confusing?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be confusing. Okay, so at this point,
this might start to get confusing, guys.
Hey guys, I just want to make sure you're not confused, right? Because we heard this might get confusing. The facts might get a little jumbled. Madara in the flashback is Madara, not Toby Madara. Speaking to Sasuke in the present is Toby Madara Obito. Fuck. Hey. You see this plot diagram?
Mm-hmm.
What if Madara and Obito were one character called Madara? what would we lose?
A swerve. Like one swerve once.
We would lose one swerve once. I guess one less character would get a chance to yell brother later.
I think he wanted, like, to continue the series for another 100 chapters or so.
So there's something... It might actually be earlier. But there's a panel I really like. And normally at this point I would follow it with a qualifier of straightforwardly or ironically. And this one works on both levels. This panel is just Sasuke reacting to this information dump. On the unironic level, his vacant, wide-eyed expression actually does the emotional work that this narration is not doing. So good there. I at least just feel like, okay, he's on the emotional edge now.
Sure.
Good drawery, good artistry. Now, in Irony Land, just having this dumb fucking dump and just this wide-eyed, vengeful expression. Amazing.
Piquant.
Makes my heart sing. That is what the vicious part of me came to this for. So those are the Sasuke Itachi adventures.
I think after this, they start... This particular span of 70 chapters was, like, a little bit inopportunely done because, like, the last, like, half dozen or so get into, like, the next arc, and I feel like we should start, like... We should start with those on the next episode that we record.
Oh, because it's sort of a natural narrative stopping point.
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense. Okay, so we're just gonna sequester all the
invasion shit.
All the invasion shit in there. If you feel we are too rough on the franchise in general, I guess you'll enjoy that episode because pretty much just its strongest material outside of the Gaara shit is all there.
It's really fucking cool. Yeah, as I remember. Or, like, as I was getting.
It pretty much has Naruto's version of Superman holding a car overhead.
Superman, I don't know. It feels like the fucking It's a pretty, like, fun, like, kind of promise of the premise.
Yeah.
Given that the premise has, like, shifted from ninja shit to wizard shit.
It is the best manifestation of chakra wizards.
Yes. We're doing, like, the fucking, you know, remember that long shot from the first Avengers film?
Ah, yeah. That business. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna save my words about Killer Bee for next time, I think. I've got thoughts about Killer Bee, folks. We're gonna talk about Killer Bee next time.
We're gonna get into some Killer Bee discourse.
We're gonna rap a bit next time about Killer Bee.
We're gonna turn our chairs. We're gonna turn our chairs around, sit on them the wrong way, and we're gonna rap.
Yo. It's like this and like that and like this, son. I'm a reaction. That's a Chappelle's Show joke. Oh man, out of the human beings that have disappointed me in the last fucking 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
A threnody for the victims of staying inside of screens for 3 years. Anyway, this has been WEEABOO Hell.
I always only spelled it with the one E, but, like, I guess it is two. Anyway, it's Weeaboo Hell.
I feel like there is some kind of web cultural distinction. Like, you could find a fork in our personalities based on where we picked up our spelling of weeaboo.
It was not very long ago that I started spelling it correctly.
Wild.
I just don't think that there needs to be a second E, right? Like I don't know, maybe Weeaboo Hell. Maybe.
I mean, you could eliminate it. I'm not really religiously attached either way. I tend to be kind of fluid with this kind of linguistic question.
It does need to be. I mean, like the Perry Bible fell, it is the second E. Like right. That is the correct way of spelling it.
That's your patch.
In my fucking head, it didn't need to be there.
And I would like to dedicate this episode to my sponsors in the NYPD. I love all of you. I have never wished that any of you get dick cancer, including those of you without dicks.
Just like, how do you make that, like, there, this thing to 12. This thing to 12.
Heart 12, yeah,
Heart 12.
Yeah. That's another very visual joke from Sam.
I was making, like, the Marine Kitagawa.
Yeah, the Marine Kitagawa, like, the one looks like, the one that looks like if a gang member was telling you he loves you, like that.
The one with the middle fingers, with your middle fingers and your index fingers, that one.
Yeah.
It's way harder to do than, is it? They're both really hard to do.
It's harder. It actually kind of looks better.
It does look better. I'm I'm gonna say it's harder to do. It does look better. This one looks okay, and it looks better.
Yeah. All right. So
what a visual.
Anyway,
medium.
really good to be back with you people. Due to all of the labor shit and etc., it's gonna be more sporadic, I guess, the schedule, but we'll see what fucking happens. I know.
We'll try to get these episodes to you when we can, folks. Fuck 12.
Fuck Kitty 12.